Hello, welcome to the program Political Viewpoint on Us of Television. My name is Topsy Gimba, your host. Political Viewpoint, it's a program designed to take place 3 times in a week on this frequency. The program provides us that opportunity to invite personalities to be with us in the studio to discuss on national issues. Of course, with me in the studio is a respected, distinguished senator who served in the 9th Assembly and then decided not to contest, to come back again in the 10th Assembly. This is how things goes. And he decided to stay back for another or some other persons to have a feel of legislative activities in the National Assembly. Not any other person than distinguished Senator OK Jeff, who represented Benue Northwest in the 9th Assembly. It's a pleasure having you on the program this evening, distinguished Senator.
Thanks for having me, Giba.
Thank you, sir. OK Jeff has been a standing, respected member of People's Democratic Party in Benue State. When things were going wrong, he remained resolute by remaining as a member of the party. And as a matter of fact, it has been like that right from the time he got himself involved in politics. Even when Tom finally became APC before getting back to PDP at the end, he still remained the way he is today. But of course, things are not really working well in that part of the North Central state, that's the Benue State. Of course, you know Suswan, Senator Suswan, one-time governor. He's equally a member of the PDP. We have people like Professor Nicholas Ada, and very many of them who are members of PDP who are really making sure that things go on very well in that state. But of recent, things are really getting so bad. And we want to know basically what are those issues that have brought about what we are seeing today in Benue State. Is it that some people are really working to ensure that North Central completely disintegrate in terms of cohesing themselves as members of a one non-political party, PDP, or what? And that's why at a point in time, we noticed that 6 local governments were to hold their own congresses, and there was this court order that stopped them. And from there, the issue of leadership came into being. So those who were intended to really make things work were suspended. I'm talking about Senator Suswan, Professor Nicholas Ada, Richard, and many others. These are people who really work hard to making sure that the party remains the way it is, but they were suspended with the influence of the former or immediate past governor. I'm talking about Chief Otom, that's Samuel Otom, who is of the opinion to be the leader of the party. One does not know really whether some of these crises we are seeing in the state within the PDP has been resolved or not. And that's why I decided to take time out to ensure that a strong member of the party within the state to come and talk to us what's actually going on in Benue State. Once again, it's a pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you, Gimba. But before we go on, let me make 1 or 2 corrections from your introduction.
That's all right.
Yeah, even though I was a founding member of the PDP in 1998, we came to Abuja and brought it back to Benue. So, but at a point in 2011, when it became clear that there were strong forces within the PDP to ensure that I never got back to the House of Reps where I was, I left the party.
Okay, you left the party
yes,
at a point?
Yeah, so I left the party and returned later.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also so that
let it be clear.
Let it be clear that, But I'm a committed member and I don't know how to time. I don't know how to be in one party and work with another party. That's my own. And so I like the way you framed your introduction. The crisis that we have today started during the last election. PDP was in firm control of Benue State. We had the governor and his deputy and commissioners, all members of the PDP. We had 3 senators, myself inclusive, were PDP. You have 7 members of the House of Reps. We have 11 from Benue State, 11 members in North from Benue State, and 7 of them were from the PDP. We have 30 members of the Benue State House of Assembly, and 23 of them, I believe, were PDP. That is how solid, of course, all the chairmen of the local government and their escorts. Yeah. You know, that is how solid PDP was on the ground. So, but when the elections came, as a journalist, you know very well, you publicize it. Yeah. Otom, the leader of the party, the governor, then governor, the leader of the party, decided that he was not going to work for the party in certain positions. The presidential candidate inclusive. And when he came down, he did that not just at the level of the presidency, like in my local government. He said the House of Reps member, the House of Assembly member should not be voted for within the party. So he mobilized his appointees who went with tons of money and were campaigning against the party in certain positions. And that happened across the district. So from being a party that was firmly in charge of the affairs of the state, we lost almost everything.
Wow.
Now, as we speak, there's no senator from Benue State that is on, okay, one senator, sorry. There's, out of the three that we had, one, who is the minority leader, Senator Abamoro.
Yeah, Abamoro.
He's the only one that survived the tsunami.
Wow. Any other, he flushed them out.
He flushed them out, and 11 members of the House of Reps, only one is on the platform of the PDP. Only one out of 7 that we had before. Out of the 30, we had 23. Now, I believe now we have 11 or so, right? So that is how bad we performed.
And meanwhile, he was a sitting governor under the platform of PDP.
And he even lost his own. He wanted to
come to the national.
Yeah, he was the one that was to succeed me.
Okay.
And he couldn't because of the way he handled the affairs of the party at that time. One will expect that after that, we'll be looking at cohesion and unity, and we had meetings and he gave the impression that he was sorry, he takes responsibility for everything that went on. As to where is human, and we all understood with him, right?
Yeah.
But what happened? As early as I think it was February of this year, when Tinubu was less than a year in office, when Tinubu himself had never indicated, even if that is his intention, he had never indicated that he was going to contest in 2027, and no member of the APC was talking about 2027 year because, like I said, it was less than a year, right?
Exactly.
Of being in
office. To show interest.
He went to Port Harcourt and told the whole world that they were going to, that their leader, meaning Wike, had told them that they will be working for Tinubu of the APC in 2027. Everybody back home at least was aghast. I'm not talking about, this was a highly publicized statement that he made
known to the world.
Known to the world. And he came back to Benue and held a meeting and told people indoors that he didn't really mean what he said. Oh, give me a break. You can't urinate on people's head and tell them it's raining. I expect them to believe you, except you take them for fools, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you didn't mean what you said there, when are we to take your statement seriously? So any statement you make, are we to say, oh, he normally says to stop like that and don't mean it, doesn't mean it? So that is the issue. Now there's a deficit of trust now amongst membership of the party back in the state. And then we had the congresses coming. Now congresses, in my nearly 30 years of political activity, 3 decades of political activity, I've never seen a situation where world congresses generate the kind of tension that we have now in Benue State. Normally, it's a laughing matter. People go there, they laugh, they say this one is zoned to this one. The area to which the position is zoned, we sit and talk and bring
its own candidate.
It normally doesn't end in elections. It's the first time.
Like a referendum.
It's like a referendum. You do have some level of tensions when we come to nominations because everybody is desperate to
get to that position.
To get to that position.
At the end of the day.
But it's not at party primaries where you are producing delegates at the world level and party officials. So much tension was generated to the extent that people will sit and determine and they will go and buy forms for their so-called faction. Okay. So the whole party in Benue State has been factionalized by the attitude of the leader, right?
Yeah.
So
and the leader you're referring to now is
I'm talking about yes. So that is the position. So when we went upon all that they did, in several places they were afraid to go to the field. They'll just take immediately the materials were given. They'll just run and go and hide somewhere and prepare the results. Right?
Yeah.
So in my local government, for instance, the person that was sent to go and conduct the elections is somebody that bought forms to contest for chairmanship of the party in my local government. And don't forget that the World ESCO, or rather the World Congress, was the one that would throw up the delegates that will be voting in the next round that will produce the chairmanship. And so you are contesting. You don't need to be a lawyer to know that you cannot be a judge in your own cause. Even at the village level, if there is a problem, you can't be one of the parties and also judge over the case. It's something that is innate.
In man.
Yeah. In fairness, if you want to be fair in anything, you can't be a complainer, for instance, and go and start judging the case between you and the person that you are accusing. It doesn't work like that. But this is what happened. Sure. You see? But even then, they were afraid to go to the field. They went, hit somewhere, and then brought back the result. That's why the aggrieved parties in those local governments, 6 in particular, went to court and got an injunction restraining the party from going on until the elections take place in those local governments where they ran away with this thing.
With the materials.
With the materials. Now, normally, if you have an issue like that, the National Secretariat is like the parent.
Yes.
That will resolve issues.
Yeah, when relates the activities
exactly
at the local level.
When you have chapters of the party having issues, you run to the National Secretariat. But the National Secretariat apparently has compromised itself. They are the ones that will be maneuvered into sending partisan people, that is factional people who will go and insist on implementing the will of a faction of the party.
To further confuse the entire process.
My brother, I think if you have injustice, there's no way you can talk about peace. If there's justice, I mean, you don't need to be talking about unity or peace because everybody will be satisfied. I had thought that because of the massive loss that was suffered during the last election, people would lose interest in our party. But there was massive turnout during the congresses, and people waited. Like in my local government, people waited until around 8 o'clock in the night. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
They went back home without anything happening.
Without anything happening. You just imagine how demoralized people would be in such a situation. This is their party. They're not talking about their party versus another party. Their own party, and they are being maltreated that way. And then the next thing you say, let's have unity. How can they be? Just do the right thing and unity will follow.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what brought about the suspension of these cohesive people who actually put things together to make the party to look so solid in your state? People like Senator Suswan, people like you, people like Professor Nicholas, people like Richard, people like Tegba and all that.
Yes.
What happened?
You see, they wanted to use the party ESCO at the state level. And those people said, no, we want to leave behind a good name. Whatever may have happened in the past, now we want to do the right thing and leave. So when they didn't allow themselves to be compromised, a faction went and sat and said they have been suspended
from the party.
Okay. So the party too sat and suspended those that had suspended them. So suspend me and suspend you.
2 cities.
Suspend me and suspend you. That is exactly what happened. In a nutshell, that is what happened. So but my anger really is with the national leadership of the party.
Yeah.
They are not playing the fatherly role at all. If they are playing the fatherly role, this will not happen. When this thing happened, an appeal panel came. They sent an appeal panel, and before they came, we heard that the appeal panel had a mandate to come and bless what the injustice that had taken place. The man came, the chairman of the appeal panel came. They was given a commendation. The following day, when the chairman of the party, the immediate past chairman, went to the hotel to take him to the party secretariat, they said he had not even slept in the hotel. He vanished. When he was called, they said he had heard too many stories about insecurity, so he doesn't feel safe.
Safe. So
okay, good. If you feel unsafe and left, go and tell those that sent you that yes, you came, but because of insecurity. Instead, he came and we were hearing. He reported that everything was fine. He came, there was no problem. He didn't even have a petition.
So what are you people really doing? As much as the national level of the party has gone into that mess, you as members of the party in that state, what are you really doing so that at the end of the day, the good works that you people have been putting together might not just vanish as a result of this logjam you have as politicians, because nobody knows where you are going to end as a politician.
Yeah.
As you are still young, knowledgeable, and you're capable to become whatever you want to become in this country using your platform.
Well, you see, I'm full of optimism. I always look at the half full cup rather than the half empty cup. For now, I think it's not impossible to still resolve issues. If the national leadership of the party is intent on resolving those issues, it's not rocket science, right?
Yeah.
All you need to do is insist on the right thing being done, and you see everybody will become happy. But if you want to manipulate, at the end of the day, I think it will not work, and you are further bringing disunity and bringing down the fortunes of the party, because nobody will want it. You see, this party thing that we join is voluntary. It's not the army that if you leave, you will be declared a war. I have the least intention of leaving the party. But I think of the thousands of people out there who want to be productive members of this party, and they are being maltreated. How do you expect them to feel? That's my worry. I can take care of myself personally, but I'm not doing politics just for myself. I'm doing politics because I want to serve the people. And if I belong to a party, I want the party to succeed. You belong to a party and you are saying in 4 years' time, you'll be working for another party, and you are the leader of the party. For God's sake, how do you expect people to feel?
Is it the same people that pass vote of confidence on Otom? The same faction. You know, when some of these people were suspended, they now gave him a vote of confidence to remain the leader of the party.
My friend, my brother, if you have a factional faction, you have a party that are split into factions.
Yes.
You can be sure that anything can happen. The one faction that is people that belong to that faction will say this man is the best human being since God created the world. This other faction will still know it is our faction that is the best. So whatever you hear now is because it's born out of faction. But the responsibility is more on the leader to ensure that he brings together a cohesive house. And if you want to do that, you have to rise above the fray, right?
Yeah.
You can't factionalize something I expect to this. You see, the Tea people, the Benue people, particularly the Tea people where I come from, we are egalitarian in nature. We believe in fairness, we believe in justice, we don't believe in one supreme person. That is why even the chieftains in the traditional rulership of the Tea nation, it started just in the 1940s. It's not up to 100 years, just around 80 years.
Otherwise, we were just our own. So it was a college.
It was a college of leaders. The old people will sit together and ensure that the society is governed well.
Not an individual.
Not an individual.
So supremacy now doesn't start with an individual.
No. So even now that we do have the Totif, highly respected, but even then, if a Totif comes and is not governing according to the wishes of the people, that respect will not be there. That respect, the Totif that we have has the respect across board because he is going about it with a lot of decency.
Yes. So
in politics, Otom was anointed the leader of the party. So we expect him to rise above the fray, not become embroiled in this factional thing that we're seeing. I don't know. What are the benefits?
It's very possible that there could be these divisive tendencies within the party. Like you rightly mentioned, there are those who probably don't really want things to work very well. So that at the end of the day, it will disintegrate to a level that they will now become supreme in whatever decision they want to take. So that people like you will not fizzle out in the system. Otherwise,
I don't bother about my political fortunes.
Yeah,
it's God that takes care of me, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You see, but if somebody belongs to one party and is even the leader of that party and is saying the next election I will work for another party, you can be sure that there's nothing that throws confusion into a setup than that kind of thing. Because people who belong to a party expect that party should triumph over their rivals.
Yeah.
So when you have the leader of that party saying, in the next election, our leader has directed us to work for this party. I mean, what are we talking about, for God's sake?
So do you see this permutation to be like working against some unforeseen forces behind? I'm talking about Otom now. In a situation whereby, in a situation whereby he appears to be the leader of PDP, and again, PDP is not cohesive in the state, and meanwhile he seems to be the leader, but nothing happens that will tend towards like that's a supreme leader who governs the activities of the state.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know what is at play, but a lot of people will tell you that this is part of the agenda. When he said we are working for another party, that is agenda to weaken the PDP so that the APC will triumph at the end of the day.
In the state.
That is the analysis of a lot of people. And because it doesn't make sense. And that appears plausible. That appears plausible because if you belong to a party, you are the leader of the party, and you are saying, and he just didn't say it. The immediate past spokesman of the party was on a TV station, not yours, but he said that they asked him, your leader said in 2027 he will work for APC. He said yes. If the leader says that, we will follow him again. That too is on TV, highly publicized.
Yeah. So what are you people really doing? Will you sit down for your hands, and is it possible that you can hold Congress?
We are not folding our arms. Yeah, that's why we went to court. The court said no, you can't do an election or Congress and then claim that it happened. That you must do the local government, the ward Congress before you go to the next level, which is local government.
Local government.
Exactly. Yeah. That is the position we are in now.
Okay.
So some of us, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
Right? Of 30-something years.
Yeah.
So I can't resort to the usual illegality just to resolve a political problem. If anything goes wrong around me, I take the legal option, which is what we did. We went to court. If the national leadership of the party were living up to their expectation, I mean, there won't be any need to go to court. They will insist that the right thing be done. But their interventions at every turn is very suspicious.
No, so do you foresee, the present situation, the lockdown we're experiencing in your region, and of course, Benue, it's in North Central. Is there a way to weaken, if they succeed in weakening Benue, it's likely going to affect some states that are PDP. And largely, I can conclude by saying that indeed, North Central, they favor PDP than any other political party in terms of elections, since I've come to understand Nigerian politics. If it does occur like the way it's actually going on in Benue, it's likely to spread all over some states within the North Central?
Well, it has already happened to Benue, so are we surprised? It has already happened to Benue. In fact, at the point, Benue was the only PDP state in North Central.
Yeah, at the point.
At a point, in the immediate past dispensation, Benue was the only PDP, 3 senators, the governor, and everything. No other state in the North Central then had that kind of fortunes. The PDP has. Today is only Plateau that is, on the platform of the PDP. Yeah, Benue is nowhere. No, just 1 senator, 1 House of Rep, and a few members of the State Assembly.
Any other is other party? Any other member?
APC is solidly in charge of Benue now, thanks to the kind of leadership that we had.
So as things are really going on in that kind of situation now, to what extent have you been established contact with some of you, like Suswan? Because I remember at a point, Suswan had indicated interest. As much as IU has been forced out of the system, and it is believed that North Central is supposed to produce the leadership required at the national level within the People's Democratic Party, and Suswan indicated that interest to become. Is it for that reason that we're beginning to see the system is being weakened in your state, so that at the end, such kind of individuals so far mentioned will not have a way to leadership? And then those
truly, I cannot be categorical in my answer. Maybe not. I don't know. But Suswan's ambition is still there. When they hold the next meeting of the party, which was adjourned, the matter of the leadership, the current chairman, is in an acting capacity. So that will be determined. And
okay, the present chairman at the national level.
The constitution of the PDP says, if there's a vacancy of the chairmanship, the national, there are two deputy chairmen, one north, one south. So if the chairman is from the north and the office becomes vacant, his deputy will be acting. So the man that is acting now is there because vacated the place. Damagun.
Damagun.
Yeah. So what will happen is that the North Central is saying no. This is our time. Give us to conclude the tenure. Of IU. So after that, it can shift to another place.
So at the state level, sir, are you people meeting so that you will now see how or are individuals above is stronger than most of you mean?
No, we are meeting, but you see, I wish
even know his activities are inimical to the growth of the party in your state. More essentially, that he belongs to PDP, but the activities he conducts are not the support of the party. And you want to forge ahead to show that the party remains very strong like the way it has been over time.
I think no, I see is the desire to have one united party that has thrown up this factional thing, because maybe because of this activity that you are talking about of meeting, he feels his leadership is being challenged, and then he wants to consolidate with his own faction, right?
Yeah.
So that is what is at play. Normally in such a situation, the national leadership of the party is ought to call a meeting and try to reconcile the factions. But in this case, I'm telling you, if the right thing is done, there won't be any need for even calling a meeting. If, like, we are going through congresses, allow people to exercise their franchise within the party, vote whom they want to vote, throw up this thing. But if you run away, and incidentally, his own local government, the immediate past governor's local government is also one of those local government where the elections were materials were run away with.
Can you imagine?
Yes, so it is also one of those where the court restrained any further action until they do the right thing.
Okay.
Yes.
So that restraint is to your favor, most of you, right?
It's in favor of justice, not to my favor.
As in
the right thing.
Your group, as a matter of fact, as much as you stand for justice.
Yeah.
You stand for justice. If the court comes out and says what it has said,
I have no personal benefit to get from there other than that.
Being a member
the
of
right
the
things, as a member of the party, the right things should be done. Let people, the numerous people that came out on that day, were there from morning till 8 o'clock in most instances. Now nothing happened. Let them not feel that the party has abandoned them. Because if you do that, at the end of the day, you come with a list that these are your ESCO. How do you expect them to feel?
The court didn't specify time to resolve this, or is just
no? The case is coming up again on Friday.
Okay, on that same matter.
On the same matter, because it was an ex parte injunction. The other party had not been served. They have not been served, and they will be coming to respond to the facts that we deposed to. Let's see whether they will say elections took place in those places, because we did our homework. Like in my local government, the SSS, they reported to them, look, we have come here, you are around the DSS, you saw that nothing happened. We went to police, you saw that nothing happened. The INEC people that were there to observe the election, they wrote nothing happened. So if you now come with a fake result, I don't know where that will take you. Yeah.
It's not whole water at all.
Exactly.
Now, in this case, do you foresee the chances of your party, as a strong member who sits there, watches what's actually going on, do you see the chances of the party making headway going forward in subsequent elections like the one we're expecting in 2027? If crisis is brewed at this early stage, are there going to be some chances of really making sure that you break the jinx and then succeed at the end of the day?
It's not.
But I'm just this is opinion.
Yeah, I get your question. You see, I already told you I'm an incurable optimist. In any circumstance that I found myself, I'm an optimist. I always look at the half full cup rather than the half empty cup. That's my approach to life. Yes. Right? Yes. It's not too late. Good enough. The party that is controlling power both at the federal and across this thing, people are dissatisfied. Right? People are not happy. Otherwise, we won't be having these protests that we'll be having. So they need to have that alternative. So if we put our house in order, it shouldn't be a problem to go there. And that, what happened during the World Congresses is a clear indication that people are ready to still give us a chance if we put our house in order.
Look at the number that turned up for
the number that turned up. I interpreted that to mean that people are still willing to give us an opportunity to provide the alternative leadership. So it's not too late if all of us are genuine. Are genuine in making sure that we have a party that will stand and win election in the next coming election. The next coming election cycle.
In 2027.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not late.
Okay. So what advice will you give to the leadership of the party at the national level, looking at the way they are doing hide and seek game in your state?
See, I expected that the leadership of the party will have as primary responsibility getting the party ready to win elections, because whatever good plans you have
starts now.
It starts now, and you have to put your house in order. Otherwise, you can't. You are not a party to. It's only in America or elsewhere that you have parties. Sometimes they don't even contest elections. Some parties, their own is environmental issues. They campaign for environmental issues, and they look at the parties that are contesting elections, and then they will ask their members, this is the party that will implement what we believe in.
Join them.
Their own is not to contest election. No. They act like pressure groups, you know. So in our climb here, every party wants to, even the smallest of parties, they participate in elections. And PDP is a major party.
Yeah.
This is a party that governed for 16 years.
Yeah.
You know, so we definitely want to win elections again. And so if the national leadership of the party is thinking like some of us are thinking, I think they will just have to move in a different directions, not take sides when you have factions within the state, because if you do that, you lose the capacity to integrate.
Put the house in order.
Put the house in order.
And that becomes a problem.
Definitely, it goes without saying.
Oh, that's very interesting, sir. So, we don't have enough time, really, but I really appreciate your time to be here to talk to us on this most important topic. We are really, it's been a national discussion in most media organizations, analyzing what's actually going on in Benue, particularly with PDP and the leadership towards there. And thank God that you are from that state and you have been on the platform for a very long time, talking about PDP for a very long time to get to where you got to. As a matter of fact, just speak to your people. I believe they might be watching in Benue. Speak to them in the best way. They should understand the direction you are really going, and they should not be worried and they feel as if you don't represent them or talk to the leadership in the way it should be.
Well, I think they are right to be worried, because if you belong to an association, whether a political party or even a church association, and things are not going right, you'll be right to be worried. But they shouldn't worry too much, because a lot of us are making efforts to ensure that we still come together as one party. I just hope I could say that for everybody who is in a leadership position in the party back in Benue State, because there's the suspicion, like I've already told you, that some people are laying the groundwork to bring down the party so that another party will benefit. If that is the case, I hope they reconsider that stand. Otherwise, some of us are very committed that we put this party in a position to win the next election, so that whatever manifesto we have, we'll have the opportunity once again to implement that for the benefit of the people. Yeah. So, but I know that the people who are out there, the generality of our members who are out there, when stuff like this happens, they are demoralized, they are disillusioned. But I think I expect them to have the kind of optimism that I have when such issues face us.
Yeah.
All is not lost, because we are still trying, and it is not too late too for the national leadership of the party to have a rethink on the way they are approaching this issue. You know, because if you send people to Benue and you know you have got evidence that they have not done the work they did, and
they came out with a report.
With a report, when even while you were there, people were calling to tell you that this is what these people are doing, or this is what they are doing. If they come, you are supposed to, take them to task. You don't do. You send somebody who to come and conduct an appeal over what happened during the war. The man didn't even sleep in the hotel the chairman of the party gave him. He didn't even go to the party secretariat where he was supposed to do that, only to come back and write a report that everything went fine. And you know it, because we have spoken to some of them who said they know what is going on in Benue. So if you know, you have to take up the gauntlet and ensure that the right thing is done.
Yeah.
So the people should still
remain hopeful.
Hopeful, just like some of us are still very hopeful that we will pass this, and our party will get back to being a solidified and unified party.
Okay. This progress in error is not quite too good for the party. Just begin at this stage, and then
I'm the first to admit that.
Yeah, honestly, it's quite unfortunate. Well, distinguished Senator, you know, I've been speaking with you. I know the name has been occurring on the screen for those who are really watching us to know basically who the guest is. Senator Jeff, Benue Northwest on the 9th Assembly. And he has been National Assembly, started from House of Reps, 12 years, I guess.
Yes.
Then transited from House of Reps to being a senator and willingly back so that you allow, was it Tom you wanted him to continue?
Yes.
And he didn't make it.
Well, he didn't make it.
So what's your thought? Do you want to just feel we have about 3 years and now to start preparing for another round of elections? I wouldn't know whether you have this interest to really get back to where you were before, like coming back to Senate.
No. I have no. Look,
Until
not many people as blessed as I am, staying 16 years in the National Assembly.
Honestly.
Not many people have that privilege. So I'm grateful to God, even if I don't add an inch of any elected position to my resume, I'll be grateful till my dying day. So I'm not thinking of any.
But sometimes people might just.
If they do, no, I'm not saying I won't. I'm not saying I won't. But for now, as we sit here, I have no intention of doing that. So, but I have the intention of continuing to see that a party that I belong to is well organized, so that when the time for elections come, they win election and make the lives of the people, at least provide an alternative to what they already have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Distinguished so much for being part of this program.
It's been a pleasure.
I always like discussing with you because I have a lot to offer in many aspects of life. And exactly, you have just done that with what the crisis in your state has been, your state with the PDP particularly, and of course you have offered your opinion and suggestions the best way it should go. We believe at the end of the day, whatever happens, truth will really come out, so that at the end the party will forge ahead against what might come in 2027. I believe that will really happen with you people standing behind. Things will work well. I thank you so much, Distinguished Senator Jeff.
It's been a pleasure.
Part of this program.
Thank you so much, Gimba, for having me.
Thank you, sir. Well, we shall have another time with some kind of discussions, either with him or some other person on this platform, Political Viewpoint. I am Topsy Gimba. News comes your way at 7. We are pleased you to stay tuned while the news comes. See you again tomorrow with yet another package, and bye-bye.